Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Factional Fight Plays Wurm Online. My name's Brian, that's my brother Adam, and this week we want to discuss what happened at the developer... What did they do? The developer discussion. It was supposed to be a developer discussion. They
It was like
released
developer
some...
Q&A.
Yeah, they released some notes, they released some Q&As, and we want to go over what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, all that good stuff. We also want to go over the updates in the game and what happened since then. It's been a busy week, and of course, we are back on our unlimited server, and we're going to try to finish building this house, and our goal is to use the new spiral staircase, and we're going to use a bridge. That's our goal. We're going to look into a couple things like that. So if we can do that in this episode, that would be great. Hello everyone in the Twitch channel, and hello everyone watching on YouTube. This is Factional Fight Plays Wurm Online. I think we should start this up. What do you think, Adam?
Absolutely.
Alright, so we spent all last week, I know we spent a few weeks not recording because of all these issues that we had, but last week we did record, and it was quite a long episode because we had a lot to say, and a lot to say about what we think they were going to say with the developer Q&A discussion thing happening. I think a day later. It was like the next day. And we had a whole bunch of ideas that we wanted to see in the game that we discussed last week. Now, knowing what happened last Tuesday, do you feel, Adam, that they delivered?
I think that they delivered. I mean, they may not have addressed every single thing that we discussed, but there was a lot of things in the plans, a lot more than I think that most people expected. Specifically, I think that there were a lot of things that are long, like changes that were long in the making. Like in terms of the community has been crying out for lots of these things that they are now going to be looking into. So I don't know. Personally, I'm as excited as ever to be playing Wurm, and I haven't really felt this way in a long time. Maybe since Multi-Story came out, but I think that we're going to start seeing some amazing things going on in this game.
Okay, so it sounds like you liked it.
I liked it a lot.
So
yeah,
you liked it. Why?
Why?
Yeah.
As I said, there was just a lot of stuff that the devs said that they're going to focus on. A lot of things that they...
More specific.
Okay, so more specific.
What makes you so happy about this?
First item on the list that they put on their plans was this invasion events system that seems like it could be amazing. Something that I've been thinking that should be in this game for a long time. I don't know exactly how they're going to implement it. I've heard a couple of like basic concept ideas, but I think that this game could really use a system like this, something that's more PvE centric, something that gives another added element of survival and adventure and just fun with rewards and everything. It just sounds great.
So here's a question. We built the staircase last week, and then of course they released the spiral staircase. Do we want to delete this staircase?
Yeah, I think that we're gonna get rid of that one. I think we weren't expecting the update for the spiral staircase, so Yeah, that wasn't even in our minds.
Yes. That's crazy. What's the best tool to get rid of a staircase? Let's try a carving knife. How about that?
Carving knife works well for openings, I guess. That might be a good guess.
We'll find out. Anyway, so you're saying that you like the update. What makes you happy is this whole invasion system.
I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, there's so many others. Like they're looking at increasing boat speed somehow. Um, they're looking at adding more items to traders. They're looking at I don't know, tons of other things. I can go on and on and on. Like their glass blowing and taxidermy skills.
Glass blowing. What could that be?
I remember when we first started and people were crying for taxidermy. Like and they had been suggesting taxidermy for who knows how long, and the fact that they put that on the list is just showing that they're trying to look at what the community has been asking for all this time, and they're actually going to be working on these things. And I think it's great.
Can that be an entire skill though? Taxidermy.
I'm sure that it could be.
How many animals do you think they'll allow us to utilize in this skill?
I'm sure that they'll start off with I mean, I would be amazed if they started off with everything. Although they do have the models for everything, so it would just matter of making a still version of the model for each one. But I would imagine that they would stick with the animals at first. You know, wildcats and wolves and bears and that sort of thing. I can't imagine some things like spiders, but who knows? Could be.
That's got to be like, oh, like, okay, those two things itself are okay, like getting taxidermy and getting glass blowing. Like, I don't know what that could give us that we could utilize.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like
Jars, glass
lead...
jars, glass what?
You know, I've always thought of glass blowing as something that should go hand in hand with an expanded alchemy skill. Something that allow you to make potions and salves and other sorts of things that you would have to store in glass containers. That's just me, but
Windows.
Windows. That I wasn't even thinking about Windows.
What could that give us skill wise? We get warmer, so therefore we get more sleep bonus while sleeping in beds, huh?
Yeah. I don't know, but that it definitely piques my interest and makes my imagination go wild with all the sorts of things that we can be doing soon. Another thing that has been a long-standing suggestion, and that's removing all decay on your deed. I don't know about you, but that just makes me happy inside.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? I wonder how that's gonna affect everything.
I mean, I feel like
that's gonna help so much for our labyrinth.
It's gonna help a lot. I feel like it's going to remove a lot of the daily grind of things, which I don't know how that will affect the game in general. I mean, it depends on how far they're planning on going with this. Like, are they planning on making it so that meals and food won't decay if they're just lying out on your deed? Like, are they going to go that far? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know if that would. How about stuff that decays in your inventory? Would it still decay if you're on your deed?
Yeah, I don't know. What about like pelts and whetstones? Will this now allow us to put those into chests that are in your deed and just let them sit there and not decay? I don't know. These are all questions that I feel need to be answered. But it, you know, if it does mean that, then you know that would make me really happy. But at the same time, I'm wondering if it will lose a little, like if there will be some loss of, I don't know how to say it, but like I don't want to like authenticity, or
Yeah.
we will reminisce about all those times when we had to,
Yeah. I
I
forgot.
don't know.
I forgot that we're playing Worm Unlimited, and I don't think the spiral staircases are in this game quite yet.
Mm.
After
Are you
deleting
sure?
everything,
No, I think they're in.
are they? You sure?
Uh, pretty sure that. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So how do you make one?
Good question. It says in the thingy, what do you call it? The crafting recipes. Hammer on a plant floor.
Yep. I see a staircase.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So I build the staircase.
Yeah. And then right click it,
Add to crafting window.
and there should be like,
Standalone staircase, wooden plank staircase.
okay.
Pretty sure it's not in Worm Unlimited yet.
Okay, well. No, it's got to be in. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere. Excuse me. I will go look for it.
Alright, you go look for it while I continue to build stuff.
Okay.
Alright, let's build some openings. Or maybe my woodworking skill is not high enough. That's true. What do you think?
It's possible.
I don't know what the skill level needs to be in order to build them. But all I got is 34. So it's not that high.
Yeah.
Is this your house? This is your house, yeah. So let's build some openings.
Yeah. We can build some openings to get the second floor going at least.
And if that's true, then who is the highest person that has carpentry?
Let's see. I've been cutting these planks for a while. I'm at 38.7. Although I have a feeling that Drakeling might be a little bit better, and he's here to help us out. He says he has 69.
That should be high enough to at least test. So add him to the writ.
Okay. Oh yes, that's I completely not thinking about that. Okay, so let's see. Manage building.
So saying that possibly that if it's in this game, it would show up at least in red text
Right.
saying that I can't build it. Yeah. So, yeah, I am still under the impression that it is not added to the game. In order to tell, you would have to go to the Steam forums and look at the updates.
Right. I'm trying to load that, but it's not.
All right. So I will give it a shot. Let's give it a shot here. Worm Unlimited. The last update was a while ago, it looked like.
Maybe it was the one right before spiral staircases.
Last update was December 3rd.
Well, the spiral staircases went in.
Yeah, which is not in the game at all. So I don't know what you saw, but you imagined spiral staircases updated in Wurm.
You know what it is? You know what it is? That there have been so many updates in the last little bit that have been so great that it's hard to keep track of what has been updated and what hasn't. And I mean, it looks like spiral staircases went in December 10th into Wurm Unlimited.
Yeah.
So if the last
Interesting.
Steam update was December 3rd, then I don't know why I can't find the updates. Where did you find the updates?
They're just on the Wurm Unlimited
Main
homepage, main page. And there's a news section. Just go into the news and you'll see it.
News.
Anyway, which is the main section where you see all the announcements. Might be called announcements.
Like I see recent updates. I have to go to view all, I suppose.
Yes.
And then I have to scroll all the way down, I suppose.
That
The last
would
one I
sound
see
right.
is the November 19th one. Oh, I see it. December 3rd. There it is.
Anyway, so yeah, Wurm Unlimited gets updated after Wurm Online, which I
Yeah.
think is a smart move.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And so no spiral staircases. We will have to put the staircase that I destroyed back, I guess.
Why don't we opening for now?
Or just leave an opening for when spiral staircases do get. But we can still build a bridge. And you know what? I tried to build a bridge. I know that they said that they added the ability to build a bridge with only one person by planting the range pole. Now you can plant the range pole in Wurm Online, but it did not allow me to build a bridge for it. So either I was missing something, or they only allowed to build a bridge solo on Wurm Unlimited. One of those two options. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else has tried to plan a bridge by themselves on Wurm Online, and maybe I was just doing it wrong.
It might be that has been only set to work in Wurm Unlimited.
But I know you can plant the range pole.
Yeah, we tried planting the but that was in Wurm Online. We haven't tried it in Wurm Unlimited. Do you want to try it here and see what happens?
Sure. Here's the problem. I don't think we have either a dioptra, is that what it's called?
Oh,
or
right.
a range pole.
And a dioptra is going to be... So our plans of spiral staircases and a bridge are pretty much shot, I think. You're right. Dioptra requires bronze and brass.
And we don't have either.
Maybe Drakeling can tell us whether or not we have tin, zinc, and copper in our mine. I know he has been mining like a fiend.
For all those people that are playing that are actually wondering how we build, I don't know, multi-story building, if that's even a question anymore, you basically are seeing what we do, which is build openings everywhere.
Yeah. This will allow you to build vaulted ceilings.
Oh, and this is mostly because we have no idea what the heck we're doing. We don't have a plan for this building. If we had a plan, we could probably plan this out a lot better. I am out of planks. Did you bring any more planks?
I am making more planks, so if you want it, you can drive over the cart.
Let's see, where's the planks? It's in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots more. Awesome. Alright, I am got this messy window, like unlimited amount of windows here. I hate that.
You know, I always like when the devs put on a Q&A session.
So what do you like about it?
It really, I mean, it just I guess tailors to the community like so much. It allows the community to feel involved in the developers process. It allows you to hear directly from the developers their thoughts on specific items, and it sort of seems off the cuff, so like you're really getting a sense of what they're thinking. I felt like this developer Q&A, Rolf seemed quite open to a lot of different suggestions, I guess. It almost seemed like he was saying yes, sure to he was saying like yeah, sure to everything almost. Like, are we going to change the rare system? Yeah, sure. Are we going to I don't know, tons of other things, like just like tons of other suggestions. He just seemed open to I don't know, like, are we going to, let's see, I'm just like trying to read through here to get a sense of some of the things that they were asking. I don't know.
And you
even like, okay, here's one. third person view, even like something that has been suggested for I don't know how long, third person view, and he says his responsive is it's definitely a possibility, but it has some issues with rendering and also gameplay, of course. And then they went on to like hint at the fact that when the new rendering engine gets inputted, that it will be a more likely situation, which I don't know. I can't wait to see what this new rendering system is like.
You think it's going to be good?
I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what it what it could be.
They didn't really ever hint at what it's going to be.
Yeah, I know.
I just built that, didn't I? Damn.
Yeah, there hasn't been any real information about it. My hope is that it will solve the GLSL shaders issue that my Mac has been experiencing.
What's wrong with your Mac?
I mean, the moment you put on GLSL shaders, it pretty much causes the game to lag so much that you can't even get like 1 frame per second.
Maybe it's just how it is. I don't know.
I mean, my Mac can run 3 clients simultaneously at mid-level graphics and well over 30 frames per second on all of them. So it's not like it can't run the game. But then the moment you put one client with GLSL shaders on,
it's gone.
It's gone. Like, the game just does not run, and then it'll crash eventually. And what this prevents me from being able to see the reflections on the water. It prevents me from seeing the rare glow of rare items.
I usually keep it off too because those shaders really
put a
big impact onto the game.
Right, they do use a lot of resources, that's for sure. But it does make the game look a lot nicer.
All right, I think I know what I want to do here.
Okay.
I'm going to plan... if you wanted to build fences on this level as a balcony, what fence would you build?
Let's see, wood... What would go with wood?
What fence do we have the ability to build? That should be what I say.
That's true.
So let's do something different. Let's do... all we really have is wood, so our options are...
Our options are parapets,
round pole fences.
round pole fences. Nah, those are like shaft fences. They look like shafts.
Wooden fences, crude wooden fences, and wooden parapets.
Well, the crude wooden fences don't look all that great. The round pole fences look like, I mean, they might not be bad.
Why don't we try
It'll make it
round
look-
pole?
It'll look shabby, but I think that might actually go.
Let's do like a low round pole fence.
Okay.
What do we need
yeah,
for that?
low. Sure. Shafts, probably.
Yes, high rope fences do look really nice. Unfortunately,
We don't have any wimp. Or if we do, we
Don't
don't
have
have
any
rope
wimp.
skill or rope tool.
skill or rope tool. Yeah. Let's see. We'll add this. We're going with
Okay, so Drakeling has found zinc. Okay, so that's giving me hope. Let's see. I hope it's
good there, I guess. So I'm just
else
gonna
do we
make
need?
some random openings here. Let's see what I can do. Here I will create an arched wall. How about that? We'll have an opening.
You know what? I just lost all hope for the Dioptera. Because in addition to all that crazy stuff, it also needs a compass.
That's right.
So we would need
We need
Olive
pottery
oil.
skill, olive oil.
the pottery skill would be no problem. We could make like the worst compass there was, with a basic needle and a basic bowl, but we would need olive oil.
Can you just
And-
turn on like olive season? Of course, then we would need a press. Which
You
we could
know,
make.
if I knew how to work GMs, I could just like spawn a GM to give us a Dioptera.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I haven't even
let's
figured
let's
out. how to
build
do-
this house. But
Yeah.
I'm more interested in the actual updates, not updates, the actual dev notes and how people have been reacting to them.
Mm.
What's been the consensus? What has everybody been thinking about last week's announcement? What was that post called? Do you have it up?
The plan. No,
Yeah.
sorry. What was it? The
Whatever it's called.
the developer Q&A plans.
The developer Q&A plans. That's what they
Yeah.
called it.
Yeah, the one where they talked about they announced the invasion events for the first time. I you know what's funny is that the next two items are more construction options, which I have no idea what that means, but I can only guess that means more wall types and more.
Yeah, I think
More
they
options
did
for
announce
houses.
that. They announced more
And then the next,
options for houses.
yeah, and it, like that, it just seems kind of vague, like more construction options. And then the next one seems even more vague. New useful items.
That's the whole thing. New
It's
useful
like,
items.
what could- yeah, new useful items as a
Alright.
whole bullet. Like that sounds like it could be a whole bunch of different things, but reshaping of abandoned land, especially along the coasts.
I
What do you
like
think of that
that. We actually, I think, mentioned that one.
Yeah, right before.
Being able to have the lands revert back to its natural state, or at least have it the ability to make it look more natural over time. Yeah, they did. I think somebody, it was in the Q&A, somebody said like marble or clay house walls.
Yeah, they're saying that in the chat. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cannibibles.
Yeah, so that would be nice. More than that, I like the idea last week that we had about log cabins being more the newbie friendly house to make.
You know what? I
That
saw
wouldn't
something afterwards
require-
about that the timber framed walls are
Yeah.
newbie friendly.
Is it because they don't require nails?
Correct. Yeah, they don't require nails, so they only require wood,
That's
like,
right.
right?
You're right. They
And then
require a
clay.
lot of logs, though.
Yeah,
But I mean,
but
it's easy to get.
they're still just logs and grass and clay.
That's true. You're right.
It is a lot, but I mean, if you consider the number of actions, though, it's not more than stone bricks, the stone houses, right? I think, what is it, like five? Is it 5 beams or 10 beams?
I think it's 8.
Let's see.
Am
Oh,
I
timber.
right?
Okay, 8 timber framed. Let's see.
I could be wrong.
It is 5 beams,
5. What am I thinking?
10
8?
mixed grass,
I was
and
making
20
something else.
clay. Right? If you compare that to stone walls, where you need 20 clay, is it 20? No, you would need 10, like 20 mortar and 20 bricks.
It's true. It's true. That does seem more newbie friendly. Although, I still would like a log cabins.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
That'd be
Lob
nice.
cabins would be good.
Something that looked different than, like the timber wood is great and all, but it's very similar to wooden walls. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, it's similar
Very
in
similar
style, but
in
looks
style.
it looks different. Like it has a
It's like
different.
a different look of a wooden wall.
Yeah.
Right, but it's still in the wooden wall category. A log cabin would be something completely unique. So like when you go into a village, it would stand out. It would be different.
Yeah.
Give a different look. I think different looks are always great. What am I missing here? I'm missing more planks.
See, there was another thing that they said that
I already have it open.
was really nice, like really interesting that they said this. Offer
Yeah.
name changes.
Oh, they actually agreed because before this idea was brought up. God, I just built the wrong thing. That's okay.
Do you remember the whole Basherverse controversy?
Of
Oh,
him
you made
changing his name.
You made a door up there.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's okay.
Are you using the crafting window or no?
Sorry.
Are you using the crafting window?
I think I accidentally didn't use it. Should I build? What should I build here?
You're so against
I've
the
got-
crafting window, but you know that if you used it, you wouldn't make any of these mistakes.
Wide window, double door, canopy, arched wall. There's like no cool option for just wooden walls. I love how all the
Yeah.
cool options are the timber frame walls.
Yeah, like the balcony.
I love that. I love that. I love how you mentioned Basher. She's like, oh God, that's the response.
Yeah.
Basher. That
For those of
evil-
you who don't know, he purchased a character, and then because he had so much influence in the sense that he brought his entire YouTube posse to join the game, so he bought a character and he got Rolf to agree to change the name, and then there was
that
this
caused
whole,
Yeah.
whole drama, like massive amount of drama, because everybody was like, well, if he gets to change his name, why can't anybody else change their name?
and it basically nullified the whole idea of name changes. Just like
Right.
we're never doing this again. We're never doing this again until enough time has passed. They forgot to mention that part.
Yeah.
And now we're going to introduce name changes.
Yeah.
And people will be
Well, I
okay with
think
it because
the reason why they didn't want name changes before is it's specifically a PvP problem, and that is people can go around and get a bad reputation, grieve people, and be an ass, and then get a name change, and then nobody will know who you are again.
I mean, that was the that was why, or one of the reasons why people didn't want it. Is it going to be any different now? Is it going to be more accepted now? Is that reason not going to matter as much?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I have no idea.
And name changes, I'm assuming, and I think they mentioned, is going to be something that's going to be on a trader.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this has always been the best way to get money sinks into the game. Putting items on there. It's basically like an in-game cash shop.
Yeah.
So, which is, they've always had it in the game. They just haven't bothered adding items to it for years and years and years.
Since as long as we've been playing.
Yeah, is there a way to tie, will there be a way to tie the old name to the new name? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
If they will do something like that. You know what would be great for this game to have? An official website that lists characters. It has like a character, what would you want to call it? Database? Repository?
Okay. Kind of like how World of Warcraft has.
Yeah, and one with like deeds and all sorts of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That would allow you to keep track of name changes pretty well.
Yeah. And then you can look at all of the names that that character has had in the past.
Yeah, I once thought of creating a website like that. I remember we were going to create a website like that a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem comes with the fact that there's no APIs or any official support that would allow you to pull the data from the game to a website to make it plausible. And I don't think that they will do that anytime soon. So,
although they are talking a lot about
APIs for mods.
Right, doing APIs for mods. So it might be something that they look into doing at the same time, because if they're gonna go do an AP,
because we
API
thought of all those ideas, like that website. What is it? Niarja.com.
Yeah.
We thought of all that idea long time ago, and we like planned out this whole thing, and it ended up that it just wasn't plausible. The reason why we didn't do what they did at Niarja.com was because the amount of work a user would need to go through to get their character not only on the website, but to keep it updated was just too much.
Like you see some people do it, and like I did it at once. Like I have my character on there, but I probably won't update it at all. And on top of that, like you can tell that so many people have not done it, because when my like mining skill puts me at like 30th best, it's like there's no way that that's everybody. It's probably not even a quarter of the population.
Yeah, and without it being a complete list and an updated list, a continuously updated list, it just serves little purpose. And it's one of the reasons why we just decided, nah, let's forget it. And we just didn't do it. But is this what I have? Okay, so what are we talking about? We are talking about all sorts of stuff. The dev talk last week.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to get ideas. What do we... I know we got off topic there for a second, but what do you believe... if the consensus was that it was good? So what did people like about it? So everybody in the chat, what did people like about the announcement last week? The stuff that they want to add to the game. Was it good, bad, not enough, too much? Yeah, it's never too much, is it?
one change that they announced that you're gonna love, I think it was probably directly because of your push for it. Although I did see a mod for this, and that was a passenger on a wagon. We were looking
Passenger
at
on the
that.
wagon. There is
Yeah,
mods for that.
there's mods for that. They've been advocating. You've been advocating for it, and
It
they
just doesn't
announced that
make
they're going to be looking
sense.
at. Doesn't make sense that there isn't a passenger. Yeah.
Yeah. They need to have a passenger on that thing, or else it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of useless.
I mean, I've had a
I
situation
mean, it's
where
not
I'm
useless, but
I'm building something with an alt, like, and my main at the same time, and I have my wagon, and then I go to move, and it's like it would be really nice if I could just pop both of the characters on to move them both over. Otherwise, one of them's walking, and it's just a pain. But it also
they're doing a possibility of putting another character on the wagon. What does that mean? Do you think?
yeah, I know.
They're gonna like be like, where could we place this?
No.
Extra
It doesn't say
character?
possibility. It says adding a passenger on the wagon.
Oh, it
I
does.
think you're looking at a previous one that says possibility to lead more creatures. That's interesting.
So then they automatically just added that.
Possibility to furl sails. Come on, that's just amazing. Have you ever had that experience where you're trying to park your nar or your cog or whatever, and there's a gale?
Yeah. I mean, boats need some love. That's just what needs to happen, because it seems like they haven't had any in ever. I mean, unless you're talking about the graphical update, they haven't had any changes to them whatsoever. And they are lagging behind. They're the mode of travel that you would least want to do.
I remember when we first started and we first sort of started learning about boats and boat travel, and I thought to myself that it doesn't make sense to use a boat to travel anywhere unless you're doing one of two things. Number one, you're delivering a massive amount of things to somewhere else, which some people do, but most people don't. And the other thing is if you're going to go travel to a different server. But if you're going to stay on your own server and you want to travel to some other place, it's far faster to travel by horse. And that just didn't make sense to me. Like it felt like boats should be faster than horses. But they didn't seem to be because of just all the, I don't know, issues surrounding them.
Yeah, they were not really faster. They're definitely not faster than horses, especially when they're geared up. Whoops.
Right. When my horse can go like 38 kilometers per
And
hour,
here's the problem.
that just doesn't make sense.
You can gear up horses, which basically means you can customize horses and get them to go faster. You cannot do that with boats.
Right.
There's no options to change a boat after that you've created one. You can imp it all you want, it will not go faster. You can't add pieces to a boat to make it go faster. You can't upgrade it.
Right. So they
It's just
did
a
add
boat.
that one sentence there. Look into boats and possibly other vehicles' speed affected by quality level. I like that. I like that. And you know what they also should look into is modifications to the boats in the same way that you could add horseshoes to horses to make them go faster. There should be something like adding different sails, or maybe like make it so that the boats can be equipped with something. I don't even know. I'm not a boat person, so I don't really know, but equip them with something that allows them to go faster, and maybe you can cast WOA on them.
All right, so how about this, okay? Yeah. Boat speed is affected by quality. I think that's a great start. Because it makes sense.
A
And
great start.
that
Absolutely.
that is the same for a lot of things, like doing the large cart effect quality. That maybe it could go faster or hold more or anything like
Hold
that.
more.
I still like my enhancement system that would affect exactly this.
Now you know that the enhancement system that you're thinking of is not going to be on the docket for sure, based
Why
on the
not? Why
criteria.
not?
You
Come
know
on, they could do this in
you're
2 weeks,
talking
can't
about a
they?
whole overhaul of an entire crafting system. That's not going to
Yeah,
be
but think
a
about it. You could have boats that hold so much more but go slower, and then boats that can go faster but hold less. Maybe one of the enhancements is just that. Go faster, but a negative impact on your cargo, how much you can hold. Would you do that?
Maybe. Yeah, absolutely.
To go faster, would you hold a lot less in
Sure.
your cog or whatever?
Well, I mean, see, but then I would have two boats, one that is geared towards speed and one that is geared towards cargo, and that way, like it would give you more reason to diversify your fleet and have those 5 different boats.
All right, but
One for
here's
each
more
purpose.
complicated. Would you make your top speed faster or make it so your lowest speed is faster?
That's an interesting compromise. Again, I think I would have one of each boat. One for when the weather is bad, and one for when the weather's good.
You can't just always just like, oh, the weather just changed. Let me go back to my deed and change my boat.
But like if I need to go sailing and the weather at the time is low, winds or whatever, like light breeze or whatever, then it's the obvious choice which one you would take. Even if the weather will change, it's not like that boat is going to be super slow in high wind. It's still going to be pretty fast in high wind. But you're right. Like, compromise, I think, is good. Like making choices, and then it also gives you the option to like build more items, more reason to build more.
Well, it's all possible with that enhancement system. They just need to put it into the game. Why isn't it in the game already? Anyway, so yeah, it doesn't look like that's gonna make it into the game.
Yeah. No, well, it's a great idea.
Okay, so this all the stuff they announced, and they're like, oh, we're gonna try to implement something every 2 weeks. That seems to be the plan. Like, take all these ideas, and then every 2 weeks we're just gonna release something off of this list. And then of course, the disclaimer of the list is not complete.
That's true. Yeah, it almost feels like every week something is coming. This week was small, but I think at the same time it was very big in terms of what it's added. I don't know, did you see the recent
let's go straight to, like, all of a sudden they added, I think it was like 2 patches since last week. That's like they added a patch like days after the announcement.
Oh, well, like the one that was after the announcement was huge. That one was awesome.
Yeah,
one of the best so far, I think.
What did they add? Like, what was the highlights to you? What are the highlights to you in the chat? The update that came after that announcement last week.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can pick a single thing.
Not one thing.
I mean, I can pick a lot of them, but like to say the one thing that is.
Okay, pick a couple of them.
Okay, spiral staircases. That was a huge one. I can't wait to build one. Another really huge one is plotting a course to whatever server that you want. I don't know. You probably don't like that one, but
plotting a course to any server that you want. It is a compromise to what everybody's wanted, right? What did everybody want? They wanted a circular world. Right? A world that felt more like a world and not a bunch of maps. So like if you go in one direction, it'll eventually bring you somewhere because the world is circular.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got more of a game mechanic, I guess, which is still good. I guess you really like that.
I mean,
that really helps as far as
I was an advocate for the circular world. I understand the downside to the circular world, and that is it would cause you to have like it would still cause long travel times. It would only appease specific people, so like specifically those who are on the west coast of Chaos, which I know because that's where I was when I was on Chaos. It would also appease the people who are on Release and Celebration, like on the east side of that server cluster. But everybody else in the middle would pretty much feel the same. There would be no change for them.
Yeah.
This new system seems to decrease server time, travel times substantially for everybody, like equally. So it allows you to pretty much go to whatever server that you want as long as you're at the server border.
Which is what you like.
I mean, I'm not against it. It's not game breaking for me. It's not like it all of a sudden feels like not a world anymore. It does allow you. I mean, it's like you can now travel. It sort of is it's kind of like that teleport sort of idea. Like imagine if we were able to teleport to any starter town on Xanadu, let's say, for example. It's like that kind of idea. But
not quite.
From server to server, as opposed to,
Do you think that it was necessary?
While it might not be necessary, it was definitely what's the word? The change that is going to make a lot of people happy.
So it will make a lot of people happy. That's what you're saying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like the same as the BSB decay. Like taking away the BSB decay, it's gonna make a lot of people happy. At the same time, it almost feels like you're losing something that lends itself to an authentic experience. But at the same time, everybody's really happy.
Are there there must be some restrictions to it that I don't know, because I've never done it before. I haven't done it yet. Is there like you can only do it so many times or per hour or something? I don't know. I guess there's no restrictions like that.
There's no restrictions like that. I mean, there is one restriction that I know of, and that is if you were recently in a PvP fight, that it won't let you plot a course.
All right.
But I still feel like you can still cross the server like normal. Like, it's not going to stop you from crossing the server. It just won't let you cross to any server that you want.
Well, okay. The way that I see it is that you're right. It might take away something a little bit, but if they had to implement something like this, like a quick travel, that's not really quick travel. It's quicker travel than what it was. They did it the right way.
Yeah.
It's done the way that it should.
I agree.
But then this begs the question, will this or has this affected the price of like goods being sold, bulk goods?
You know what? I don't
Do you
think
think it'll
so.
affect it?
I don't think so. What I think it's going to do is it's going to increase the availability, though. Whether that's going to actually change the price on bulk goods, I don't think so.
So the question is, should it?
No, I don't think so. Delivery was never really a huge factor in the price of bulk goods. I think that it will enable more people to get into the bulk good business, which might increase the supply a little bit. But I don't think it'll increase
Do you
the
think
supply
delivery
enough.
charges will go down?
Maybe delivery charges will go down, but delivery charges again were never very large to begin with. I feel like people spend hours upon hours upon hours delivering, and then it was like people were charging ridiculously low amounts to deliver, like just 1 silver or something to deliver to wherever. Whereas the actual order would have been like 15 silver for the bricks and mortar that you're buying.
So here's a question. Mailboxes. The price of mailing something is basically gone.
Yeah.
Not really gone, but virtually gone.
Virtually.
Thoughts?
You know, I'm curious to know why they decided to leave 10% of the initial costs.
And like, were people asking for this? Was this something that like it costs so much money to mail? Let's help these people out.
No, I saw people asking for it. It wasn't a huge demand. There weren't like a ton of people asking for it, but it's definitely something that's going to make everybody happy. Again, it's like,
does it help the economy?
It will definitely help the economy. People would often, especially new players who are looking to buy mid-level tools. Now, mid-level tools are like pretty cheap these days. You know, you can get a pretty decent tool for 50 copper these days, and that extra 10 copper on the same server or 20 copper on cross server might have been the make or break for a newbie to decide to buy one of these tools. But I think now the COD cost wouldn't even factor into the decision anymore because it's so low. But as I said,
so low they should have gotten rid of it.
I mean, I wonder if they factored in some calculation to determine whether or not they needed to keep that 1 copper or 2 copper COD cost, whether that's actually going to make a difference in terms of money sinks. Maybe it will. Maybe they,
or
figured
maybe they
the
just
grand scheme
needed
of things.
something, to use iron for.
What do you mean?
Huh?
Use
Maybe
iron
they
for?
needed something that needed iron. Nothing costs anything. You never say that I want to sell something for 50 iron.
Right. But this doesn't include
Do you even
iron.
know
This is
that
only 1
iron
copper or
exists?
2 copper.
You're right. Did it go down? It was like what, 10 copper before?
Yeah, it was 10 copper, 20 copper.
So now it's 1 or 2 copper.
Now it's 1 or 2 copper.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I guess now that newbies have the ability to make their own copper, like by selling stuff and finding rare coins or selling stuff to a token and all that stuff, it's like it's like a money sink for them, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So if they were planned it well, then they might have looked at that, whether that 1 copper and 2 copper money sink actually factors into the grand scheme of the economy, and that might have been the reason for keeping it. But I don't know. I really don't know. Oh yeah, somebody reminded me that I was gonna say, but I forgot. With the sailing of the cross server sailing border thingy, there's so somebody mentioned on the forums that potentially you can use this system to get from one side of a server to the other side. So like if we're on West Coast Xanadu, which we are, and we want to quickly get over to East Coast Xanadu, all we would have to do is cross over from like the West Coast to Delhi, or to actually any server that we want, and then go right back and cross to, whatever other side, like choose the same server, choose Xanadu back again, and it'll allow you to go right to the other side of the server really quickly.
Right.
And somebody asked whether that was intended, and they said it's not intended, but it's also not something they prevented or whatever. Like they didn't stop it from happening. So it's something that they seem to think is okay. I think it's okay that you're able to go from West Coast Xanadu to East Coast Xanadu quickly.
I think so.
I think so. It's not like such a bad. I mean, if you're allowed to go to any server that you want.
Is this a bug? Planning a roof?
What?
Or is it my skill's not high enough? Cannot plan.
I think you need to.
It's because
it has to be connected. No, it has to be connected to the roof. What's happening?
Can't plan any roofs above this. Above, not like connected to a wall.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Do you need to finish the roof first? That's
maybe. Yeah. I guess that's new. That wasn't there before.
That wasn't there before. Yeah.
Huh. So you have to finish one of the pieces of the roof in order to plan the next one.
I wonder when they changed that.
Now we don't have those pieces. We don't have any
shingles,
stuff, right? Shingles.
I can start on them, making them.
Yeah. Well, what is it, like 10 each? Let's get rid of some of this stuff. So I can walk again. You gave me some shafts, so I will build those shaft fences.
My saw has 30 damage on it. I didn't even look. Yeah.
Oh, I love walking slow. So I'm going to plan these fences the way that I was thinking of doing it before. What did I want? Low round pole fence?
Yeah. I made some shafts, so you can come get those too.
All right. I got them.
Okay. I still have 100 and some odd over
here. Right. I was going to do this.
Somebody asked, do we have any mods on our server? And the answer is no.
Yeah, just vanilla Wurm Unlimited.
And that's just because I have no idea how to add mods. And I know that it's, like, I've read about it. It seems pretty easy, but I just don't really have the time.
Oh, I made the wrong fence.
And we're not really playing on this server other than while we stream. And so I don't see really any point.
All right, so while that is going, so what else happened in this week? The updates. I do not have the updates up. Do you have the updates up?
Yeah, let's see what else happened. Update.
What's the most interesting thing there?
They added halter ropes that allow you to lead up to 4 animals with a single item.
What do you think about that?
That's a huge change. Huge, huge, huge.
Now, before, the mooring rope all of a sudden did that,
Yeah.
right? And for some reason, no one seemed to know about it, yet it was on the wiki. And we
It's on the
announced
wiki.
it.
And people were telling us about it, and it seemed public knowledge that the mooring rope could lead 4 horses, and then we announced it on our show, and then it was like a couple days later, and they nerfed it, like they got rid of it.
Like, got rid of it. So
And
now
everybody
people are like,
blamed us.
well, yeah, I guess still our fault, but now we have these new ropes. What do you think of them? Do you think it's a good change?
I think it's a great change. I mean, it's appeasing the crowd who got really upset when they removed the mooring rope leading. And I think that the mooring rope leading thing was a little bit of a unplanned, one of those worm things that happen. It's like unplanned and
Just happened.
unintended. It just happened, which is okay. Like, I wasn't like totally upset they got rid of it. I am glad though that they considered it an important enough change to add an official, well thought out item back into the game that does what the mooring rope did. I am a little bit, what's the word?
Now,
I am a little
they
bit
made-
upset. Not upset. It's not upset. It's not the right word, but that they made it so that you had to continue
That's the wrong
to
word.
create
So the item is pieced together.
Yeah, you create an unfinished item and then you have to continue it by adding more parts.
Yeah.
And that's just a personal thing, only because my rope maker is a priest, and so it makes it so that that priest can't actually make that item.
So your rope maker can't make this new rope item.
Right, because the priest restriction of that they can't continue. So that's okay, I guess.
I like that they made it a lot harder to make this item. Was this
Yeah.
higher level, right?
Higher level rope making. I don't know exactly what the levels are because my rope maker is really high, and I don't have any other tunes that have even the mid-level rope making. That's not a priest, so we'd have to look into that.
Can you
but-
start an item like that, or no?
Yeah, you can start it.
You just can't continue.
I just can't continue. Yeah, just can't continue. And I don't think, like, if I have a low-level rope maker, I don't think that they can actually successfully get the items in very easily.
I see.
I haven't tried. I haven't put any effort into really trying, but I got to the point where my rope maker was stuck, and so I didn't continue that. Surprisingly, though, I haven't seen anybody really selling them.
Do you think it's worth selling them?
I mean, I personally have no ability to make one, and it would be nice to have
To
one.
buy one? Really?
I mean, maybe like it wouldn't be a high cost item in my opinion. It's one of those things when they add a new item to the game like that. You always remember when they added the dioptra, and there
Yeah.
were all these like posts on the forums like selling dioptras, and they were really cheap, like 30 copper or 40 copper or whatever. Get yourself your own dioptra, and people had tons of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seemed like that would have been like a prime item for one of those type of threads. But I don't know. I haven't tried. I haven't put any effort into really trying. I don't think that they can successfully get the items in very easily.
I see.
and probably not everybody would buy one, but it would just be like that person who didn't have a remote maker handy and wouldn't mind spending 20 copper, especially now that the mailing fees are down. 20 copper to get a halter, just so that you didn't have to go out of your way to make one. Seemed like a nice opportunity for somebody to just make a not all that much money, but just a little bit.
So it seems like all the changes that have been made in the last few weeks, in the last week, I should say, has been positive. The developer announcement, the plans, all that stuff, the Q&A. People have been, I don't know, I would say impressed, but they've been very positive.
Mm-hmm.
Is that basically the sense that you're getting?
I think so. I think that the entire community is ecstatic. A lot of people are heralding this as a time of changes that go beyond even like a change like bridges, for example. Like, people are saying the changes over the past like 5 patch notes
Mm-hmm.
have been better than bridges and multi-story combined. That it's demonstrating a direction for the game that is extremely positive, one where the devs are really looking at long-standing community suggestions and changing the game for the better and getting it into a place where new players who are going to try this game are more likely to stick with it. I don't know, and I don't like. I really hope to see this momentum continue, and it looks like it will.
How would they continue? It is just like the constant updates.
Constant like do a feedback. Get feedback from the community and keep that momentum going. More Q&A sessions once they've implemented all this and they've gone through this whole dev cycle, and I think that'll end sometime at the end of spring. The devs will go on their summer, and then they'll come back, and hopefully we'll see another round of development, potentially ones that are targeting large projects. I see the reason for this development cycle being, a lot of quick fixes and a lot of because they want to keep people playing. They want to people to return to Wurm Unlimited. They want to make the transition from Wurm Unlimited to Wurm Online better. They want to retain newbies, all sorts of things. So their plan seems pretty solid on that. But once all that happens, and my hope and the devs' hope is to see the numbers in the population rise. And I think once the population stabilizes, then I look forward to seeing major
the enhancement system being implemented into the game.
Yeah. Things like that. Yeah. Maybe the bead progression system and tree houses.
You know what? I thought, how we're always a big proponent over playing together as a group, and I always like the idea, and of course the ideas that we had, like the village update system or achievement system or whatever you want to call it, and having the ability to make special items sort of in a group setting. It's not like you're gonna go out solo and create the Colossus by yourself, or not a Colossus, that's a bad word. I mean like something that would have taken a lot to make,
right?
Like the pyramids or something.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that wasn't a one-person team. There's got to be items that represent cooperation. And the thing is like how would you implement something like that into the game? And I had this like cool idea on how they could do that, and maybe have like 3 or 4 people adding things to the game, or
To the item.
to adding it to the item instead of it just like continue, like adding tons of items to a new structure or something.
Uh-huh.
You could have a little mini game, like, have you ever played? What is that game called on on those mobile phones? Space.
Oh,
Something.
Space Team.
Space Team.
I love that game.
So Space Team is basically a game where you would have, let's say you're playing with 3 people, and you're all playing towards a common goal.
You and 3 people, so 4 people in total.
Yeah. So in this case, the common goal is like you run a spaceship and you're trying to like stay alive, keep the spaceship afloat, and the whole thing is that you have to do something. So you have like a bunch of things that you can do, buttons that you can press and stuff. Like, what would you call it? Like you have an accelerator or something, and like some other button. Press this button, and another person in the group gets signaled that you need to press the accelerator, but they don't know who has the accelerator button. So they have to scream like, somebody needs to press the accelerator, and the person that has the accelerator will flip the switch. And so you have everybody gets a signal of a button or a lever or something that they do not have. Somebody else has it. So people are constantly like screaming, press the accelerator, press this, press that, and you have to listen to everybody that's talking and figure out which one you have over and over again. So if they could develop something like this into Wurm, where you're like trying to build something, lean something up, and somebody else is looking at you and is like, oh, you got to do this, you have to press this, you chisel this in a certain way, and you have a bunch of options that you can choose, and then at the same time you have to tell other people what's going on, what they're doing. That would be kind of fun.
My feeling is that would be way too complicated to implement.
That'd be so fun.
It would be fun, but at the same time, I don't think it'll work. That's just me, but
It's got it has to. I think they could figure out a way.
yeah.
I played weirder systems. The fishing system in Vanguard, for example. That was a cool system. I'm not going to go in it. If anybody's played Vanguard, they'll know.
So you decided to leave that door there?
I decided to leave that door there. Maybe I'll build a bridge at some point. I don't know.
All right.
Anyway, I was going to go out here and look at the house, but we have a giant tree in the way, so I can't actually see it.
Why chop it down?
I will go and chop it down. I did not realize it was there. So let's take a look at the house. It's not completed inside, but you can at least see what it looks like on the outside, and really that's all that matters, isn't it? Let's get rid of this tree here. Is this not working? I do not have a chop up bind. I'm too lazy to make one right now. Okay. Look at that house. That's pretty awesome. Took 2 episodes and a few hours, but we managed to piece together a 2-story house with a giant roof. Not bad for our first house. What do you say?
That looks pretty good.
Later inside, we'll have our own balcony and a nice vaulted ceiling on one side. And it's just a basic wooden house, and our skills are not that high. What is our skill? I did get 5 skill because of the skill gain here.
I got 11 skill from just
Wow.
cutting planks and shafts. That would never happen in Worm on online.
No, but it's been a fun week. It's been a fun week for everyone that I think has played Worm, and a very optimistic week. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that we got to at least finish our discussion and do like a follow-up discussion. And though we did not have the ability to create a spiral staircase and we do not have the ability to create a bridge, we did have the ability to at least complete the outside of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I think we'll leave everyone this week. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys. Keep worming. We'll see you in the game. At some point, I really want to get back to the labyrinth. Maybe we'll do a labyrinth episode. What do you think?
I think
wait.
that would be a good thing to do.
Yeah, we've been doing. I've been doing quite a bit in the labyrinth, trying to get it ready for building. So maybe we'll show everybody what's been going on with that. Until then, everyone, keep playing Worm. It seems like things are looking up all of a sudden. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one, guys.
But